Okay, I'm gonna film another mukbang because Nestle would like me to talk about relationships and relationship advice. I don't know how good I will be at this because I'm not currently in a relationship, but my last relationship lasted almost 12 years, so hopefully I have some good advice. So what I'm eating for dinner is some fruit and mint salad that I made, some pork and black beans that my mother made, and a steak that I grilled. And I will have the video up for that. I will link the video in the description box down below. So let's get into this. Oh, and the tea I'm drinking is mango black tea by choice. So, I figured first I would talk about what relationships I've had. I haven't had that many relationships, to be honest. I'm an extremely shy person when it comes to relationships. That steak is delicious. So, I mean, I've had my fair share of crushes. But I would say that I've only been in two official relationships. That steak is so good. My first relationship was with my high school sweetheart, who has unfortunately passed away. And we met in a coffee shop called Dutch Bros, and I was immediately impressed by him. I don't remember that fruit salad is really good too, nice and fresh. I don't really remember what we talked about. I know something about art, probably music too. Oh, and by the way, both guys I dated were musicians, so apparently I like musicians. Pork and beans is really good too. So anyways, he was currently in a relationship though. So, but we really got along and we hung out a lot. But then his girlfriend died, and I felt really bad. And he kind of hung out with me more after his girlfriend died. And the reason why and I'll say he's the one that I lost my virginity to, but the reason why we probably broke up, well, the first reason why we broke up is because we got in a fight. I don't remember what the fight was about. I don't know, we got over a fight over something stupid. And then I went to his trailer while he wasn't there, and I got all my stuff because I had been, staying with him for so long. So I got all my stuff and took off before he could take anything, because I knew that he would want to keep my CDs and stuff. and he accused me of stealing pictures of his ex-girlfriend, which I didn't do. I have no reason to do that. We stayed friends for a long time. In fact, I was friends with him before he died. And I was lucky I got to say I love you to him before he died, which I bet a lot of other people wish they had that opportunity. I don't really know why our relationship failed, other than it just wasn't meant to be. We were both young and immature. He said that he wanted to have kids with me, but I was too young. I didn't want to have kids at that time. So that kind of scared me. So what would I have done differently in this situation? Well, honestly, I don't think me and him were meant to be. But if me and him were meant to be, I probably would have tried to be more active about letting him know that I liked him still. I can't really remember what we fought about, so I don't know how I would change that. But let's talk about my most recent relationship, the one that lasted 12 years. Okay, so I met him on LiveJournal when I was in high school. And I found him through this obscure band. I searched other people that liked this band, and the band's name was Obscuria. Anyway, I searched other people that liked this band, and he was the only other person that liked this band. So it was like awesome. I added him as a friend on LiveJournal, and we immediately hit it off. We stayed in contact for many, many years until I finally met him in 2000. Well, we first started dating in like 2006. Okay, I met him on LiveJournal when I was 17. We first started dating in like 2006, and then we met each other in person in like, I think it was 2008. The beginning of our relationship was great. You know, we never had any problems. Except for one night I was talking to him on the phone, and he was talking about how he had a night with another woman, I'll just say. And he didn't even ask my permission or anything like that. I guess I never set my boundaries in the first place. And that's one thing that I want to talk about for advice. Set your boundaries. That's what I would do different. Set your boundaries immediately in a relationship. And you got to constantly update your boundaries too. When you think of them, tell them. But I had never told him that I'd want him to stay loyal to me. So I constantly had this feeling that he was going to cheat on me. Because he kind of did. I mean, he called me on the phone and told me about how he's with another woman, and that just totally crushed my feelings. So what did I do after that? I cheated on him. And I know that it's an awful thing to do, but I figured, hey, he's experimenting with other people. Maybe I should. And Was that the best thing to do? No, I would probably take that back. The reason why our relationship ended the first time is because what I think happened is I was pressuring him to come visit me. And he came to visit me, and I could tell he was stressed out about something, but he wouldn't talk to me about it. And so I was talking to my friend when he was in the bathroom, like getting ready, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if it's gonna work out. Like, you know, I was really stressed out about the situation. I was talking with my roommate about it, and I think he heard me. And so later that night, he left, and I was totally heartbroken by that. But I guess he was stressed out because his cat was really sick, and he wanted to get home and check on his cat. Later, his cat ended up dying, and you know, a few years go by and we end up getting back together. I say we would fight a lot more the second time. I was a lot more jealous of him. Like, I was a lot more possessive of him. I was always worried that he was gonna cheat on me. I can't really remember what things he would say to me, but sometimes he was mean to me. Probably for reasons that I deserved. But the reason why our relationship ended this time was, well, one of his cats got sick again and passed away, and he became really distant after that. And I kept trying to talk to him and like get him to open up to me, but he wouldn't. And finally, I guess he snapped last Christmas, and I found out I was part African, so I wanted to celebrate Kwanzaa to learn more about my heritage. And he got really upset and was basically badgering me the whole time I was trying to enjoy Kwanzaa, because he doesn't support the founder of Kwanzaa, which I can see why he doesn't support the founder of Kwanzaa, but Kwanzaa isn't about the founder, it's about Africa and family, it's about culture, it's a cultural holiday, it's about celebrating your heritage. It's not about celebrating the founder of Kwanzaa. That was such a good piece of steak. We got in a big fight. I said he was controlling. He didn't like that whatsoever. But I do feel like sometimes he is controlling. I don't feel like I have to list all the ways, but and maybe I was a little controlling too, you know. I was constantly afraid that he's going to cheat on me. But I do feel like it's controlling behavior to not let me enjoy celebrating a holiday that represents my own heritage. Anyways, so we broke up. I think what I would do differently, first off, the first time we broke up, I wouldn't have talked about him behind his back while he was in the bathroom. I would have just talked to him personally, because you should never bring somebody else into conflict you're having with your partner, unless that partner is being abusive towards you. If that partner is just having a bad day or something like that, or their behavior is confusing you, you need to talk to your partner about it and not go talk to somebody else about it. Steak is so good. And then what I would do differently the second time we broke up. First of all, it was obvious he didn't want to talk about his feelings when his cat died. Like, it's obvious he didn't want to open up about that. It's obvious he needed some space. So what I would have done is given him more space and let him come to me to talk to me about it, instead of me constantly talking to him, being like, hey, I'm here if you need me, I'm here if you need me. I would just back off and let him do his thing of coping with his cat dying, and let him come to me if he wanted to. And then another thing I would do differently is probably not overreact when he got mad at me for celebrating Kwanzaa. I'd probably just be like, I'd probably send him an instant message, or a text message, and be like, hey, what you're doing is kind of offending me. Could you stop overreacting, please? And, just try and call him out on it, but not in a mean way. And then I would probably have not been so public with how frustrated I was with him. So basically I went and told all my friends that I was frustrated with him, but another thing that I wouldn't have done is be so jealous of him or possessive of him. I feel like if you are in a long distance relationship, you can't be possessive of somebody. You can set your boundaries and tell them, hey, could you please practice safe sex or whatnot so I don't get anything. But I feel like if you are in a long distance relationship, you should expect them to be able to experiment with other people until you two eventually settle down and become committed to each other. And I feel like I have to be more open to that, especially if I'm going to be dating somebody long distance again. I'm not going to be so possessive in the future. And I think the reason why I was so possessive of him is because, I don't know, I really, really admired him. Like, it was just something about him that really drew me to him. And it might have been a toxic connection, but I don't regret it at all because I learned so much from my experience that I think the next, that I think the next committed, serious relationship I am in is going to be very successful. And probably the one. Because I'll work harder on maintaining it. So what I will say that you would have to learn from what all I've deduced from this whole situation is you always got to be constantly like grateful and appreciative of your partner, because you never know when they're going to go. You never know when you're going to lose an opportunity to be with them the next time, so always appreciate them. And never talk about them behind their back. If you have an issue with them, bring it up to them or give them some space and then talk it through with them. Don't be possessive. Allow them to experiment or be committed to you as much as they want to, and be sure to set your boundaries constantly in a relationship, whatever boundary it may be. And if you want to be in a committed relationship, be sure you set that boundary so that they don't have an excuse for cheating on you. Just don't be publicly critical of them. You know, if you have some issue with them, talk to them about it. So this was a delicious steak. I hope that was helpful, Nestle. And I hope that was helpful to anyone else that was listening. Now I gotta go put away dinner and edit these videos. Thanks for watching.